Hi, I'm Gary Engler, your socialist grandfather. Last episode of Economic Democracy or No Democracy, an anti oligarchy manifesto, was about how the oppression of women led to other forms of oppression. The logic goes something like this: all people cannot have equal rights because women are inferior to men. Ignorant generalizations about any other become okay once you've done it to women. Seeing them as abstractions who are inferior and need to be controlled rather than as individuals just like us is the original prejudice. Of course, we'll never know for certain, but it seems likely that the very first step on the ladder to minority rule was a large, violent man asserting his power over a woman, which then led him to do the same to a larger group. It might even have been done in the name of love, which often leads to feelings of jealousy and possession. Perhaps long ago it was considered normal for women to have sex with whomever they felt like having it, sort of like bonobos. Sex was simply something you did to satisfy a basic urge, to feel good or make another person feel good. Men would not have presumed to own a woman's sexuality back then until maybe a few men, probably the biggest and strongest, most prone to violence men, decided to possess their women. Once you've claimed one other person, how big of a leap is it to claim others or a piece of land or other property for your exclusive use? At the core of all forms of minority rule is violent coercion, exactly the same as patriarchy. A violent man protecting the honor of his woman, a feudal baron protecting his land and serfs, the British Navy protecting the empire, the US military maintaining almost 800 foreign military bases to protect its interests, an organized crime godfather offering protection to a restaurant owner. Some people see history as comprised of stages. And there's some utility in looking through the lens of hunter gatherers to agricultural societies, feudal system to capitalism, etc. But doing so also obscures something important. Feudalism is still with us today in many parts of the world, as are other forms of minority rule like patriarchy, slavery, caste, and racism. One form of minority rule grew into another. Feudalism and capitalism are not stages, but rather a continuum of minority rule that has been evolving over time in an ongoing battle with majority rule, typically called democracy. Capitalism incorporated feudal minority rule. It never got rid of it. Capitalism never got rid of misogyny or racism. It incorporated them into its system of minority rule and exploitation. The same with imperialism. The current form of actually existing minority rule, which we call neoliberal capitalism, is best understood as a worldwide economic and political system that continues to use feudal relations, racism, imperialism, and sexism to maintain and expand its power and control. On the other hand, the past decades have seen a weakening of patriarchy in many parts of the world. There have been significant gains in the position of women. Hundreds of millions of women across the planet have been motivated by the unfairness of inequality to join the struggle against patriarchy. This success is both a perfect example of how motivating the fight for expanded democracy can be, and the limitations of seeking true equality and real democracy under capitalism. While the gains of many women as women have been so impressive that supporters of minority rule now organize in response to those gains, patriarchy is the gateway drug to fascism. Women are not just women, they are also mothers, consumers, renters, artists, workers, and leaders in the fight for economic democracy. More on this next time.